Okay, we're back here in the Sefer Kol DODI, which is talking about the struggle, almost like the eternal struggle between the Jewish people and Yishmael. And we mentioned that our greatest enemy in the world is really the Ishmaelites, and he explains the following idea, and that is like this: V'yitachin the shorish hadavar leiba machmas etzem ma'aser gerushin. We pointed out over here that when Avraham Avinu sent out Hagar, and he sent out Yishmael, so there's no real brotherhood the way that it existed between Esav and Yaakov, and therefore the sending away of Yishmael from the house of Abraham, Sarah, and of Yitzchak makes it that there's no brotherhood over there. There's just a vehement hatred that they have. And he says like this: the fact that Yishmael hates the Jews so much existed even before Abraham sent out Yishmael and Hagar on their own. The Ayin B'Sforno, you take a look at this Sforno, one of the commentators, and he writes like this: V'tira Saras ben Hagar Mitzris. Sarah saw the son of Hagar. Mitzachik was making fun of Yitzchak. Now remember, Avraham and Sarah were married for 90 years, whatever it was. They didn't have any children. Finally, at the age of 99 years old, Avraham Avinu has his first child. Yeah? And Sarah Imenu is, I forget exactly what age she was. She was also a very old woman, and they have their first child. Now, that's their child. Yishmael was born previously to Avraham and to Hagar. And when Yitzchak is born and he's getting older, Yishmael is making fun and teasing and bullying Yitzchak. Why? So now he has a baby, and they make a bris. Obviously, it's a big thing. And then they have at 3 years old when he's weaned, and he's going to begin his more serious life, so to speak. They make a big feast, and Yishmael begins teasing Yitzchak, and he says, "What, you think that Sarah is your mother? I'm sorry, you think that Avraham is your father? Remember, your mother Sarah was taken captive by a king named Avimelech, and your father and mother didn't have children for years and years and years and years and years. Do you think it's a coincidence that after your mother was abducted by Avimelech, suddenly she gets pregnant, she has a baby? You know who your father is? Your father's not Avraham. Your father's really Avimelech, because your father and your mother don't have children together, and I'm the only one that's really an offspring of Abraham, but you are the offspring of Avimelech and Sarah. Hari Shaledaitoi. According to Yishmael, Yitzchak b'chal ha'ya ben shel Avram, Avimelech is Abba Sarah. Yishmael doesn't even look at Yitzchak as his brother. Because they're not from the same father. According to Yishmael, who's the father of Yitzchak? It's none less than Avimelech, the king. And therefore there's no brotherhood that exists between Yishmael and Yitzchak. He hates Yitzchak more than Esav hates Yaakov. Because Esav had some kind of a closeness to Yaakov, but Yishmael feels nothing at all. We're not from the same parents, not at all. My father is Abraham, my mother is Hagar, your father is Avimelech, and your mother is Sarah. We have nothing at all to do with each other. That's why Yishmael has no mercy on the Jewish people at all. Mashenkin be'esav, on the other hand, Esav, which we said, when they meet for the first time after 20 years of being separate, there are those opinions that say that when Esav and Yaakov met for the first time, Esav actually welled up with mercy, and he decided not to kill Yaakov after all these years. For 20 years he was dreaming of killing Yaakov, because Yaakov ended up stealing the birthright and the blessings from him. So for 20 years he's furious and he's angry, and he's going to destroy Yaakov when he sees him. But when he sees him, that's my brother. My brother, we come from the same mother and the same father. Suddenly he wells up with mercy and he lets him go. Mashegi be'esav sheyesh lo nekuda ha'achava yitachin levam yinagi imanu b'rachmanis. Sometimes the nation of Esav, that Christian will call it, that nation, even the Romans sometimes, were able to have pity on the Jewish people. Yes.
So why would Hashem knows everything?
Yes.
He would know who the Father really is.
Yes.
So why would he say to Jacob, to Abraham, bring your son, your only son, up to the mountain?
Right.
So he knows that Abraham is the father.
100%.
Okay.
And who knows?
Hashem.
Yeah, Hashem. Of course, Hashem knows. And Sarah knew, and Yitzchak knew.
So he was just
but there were people, the people of the generation, they did not want to believe, and that's why the Gemara says that Hashem made the face of Yitzchak look exactly like the face of Avraham. So that when people would see him, they would realize, well, the only way that this boy could possibly look exactly like Avraham is if Avraham is the father. But still, Yishmael and Hagar both were teasing Sarah, and they were both teasing Yitzchak and saying, nah, your father's really Avimelech. It's impossible for all these years. They couldn't have children. Now she comes out of the house of Avimelech. She does have a baby. Can't be that it's Avraham. The Alderech Zeh Yesh Lahavin, we have to understand, Masha Avanu B'Shem Azayah, the Zohar says, Shivcha ki sirash gevirta. A shivcha, the maidservant, which is talking about Hagar, she will inherit the gevirta, her mistress. What does that mean? The Hagar, the Elidas, Yishmael, it's referring to Hagar, who gave birth to Yishmael. What does that mean? The Shorish Sinas Yishmael Mibnei Shahagar Chashva, she nases hagevira b'makim sar. Hagar thought that since that she had the baby of Avraham before Sarah did, she became the gevirta, she became like the matron of the house. Even before Yishmael was born, she already felt that she's like the matron, she's the leader of the house. Why? Because it says, we know that when she got pregnant, suddenly all of her awe of Sarah, the great Sarah, became like nothing in her eyes. Shamar, she said, Sasra ain't stira kegaloya. She said, the inner world of Sarah is not like she reveals to the outer world. She looks mara atzmashi tzadekis. She makes everybody think she's a big righteous woman. Made it tzadekis. Sarah's not such a righteous woman. She's living with Avraham all of these years. 50, 60, 70 years they're living together. She doesn't have a child. And I'm together with my master Avraham one night, and I get pregnant. So who's really the righteous person over here? Said Hagar, must be me, and not Sarah. If she was really so righteous, certainly Hashem would have given her a child. So therefore, you know what? She's already nothing in my there's really nothing. She's nothing in my eyes. V'gam Hagar chash v'shavimelech nis abra Sarah, and even Hagar thought that the only way that Sarah was able to get pregnant over here was from Avimelech and not from Avraham Avinu. L'chein, nevertheless, v'sira Sarah has been Hagar. Hamitzris mitzachik. That's what it means over here. Sarah saw that the son of Hagar was teasing Yitzchak. Shechash v'sar sheyishmael lo nisayre lezeh halaag lo yidei shekach shama me'imay kinyin sha'amru shusa de yenuka b'shuka oidavua odamia. And she said like this: why is Hagar teasing my son? I'm sorry. Why is Yishmael teasing my son Yitzchak? Why is he saying all these things that you're not really born from Avraham, you're really born from Avimelech? Why is he doing that? You know what? Where does a kid learn how to say things? He learns it from the house. So whatever he heard in his mother's house, Hagar, she probably was giving him drushes and said, that's Sarah, she's not such a righteous woman, she doesn't know anything, she says she's right, she's not really, because look, she lived together all these years with Abraham, they had no children. I have a child named Yishmael, and who's the baby right now that she's having over here? It's not from Abraham, it's from Avimelech. So therefore, Sarah was very concerned about this that Yishmael was doing. Since that Hagar believed that Avimelech is the one that got Hagar pregnant, she thought that she was more prominent than Sarah. Only she's the one that got pregnant from Avraham. Sarah did not. Only Yishmael is the real offspring of Avraham. And she said, Yitzchak is not the offspring of Avraham. And even after she was sent out of the house of Avraham, she said, the only reason that Abraham sent me out of the house is not because he's angry with me, and not because he doesn't believe that Yishmael is his only child, because clearly Yitzchak is not his child. She said, look, Sarah is this very jealous woman. She said, look, Sarah is very jealous. She put a lot of pressure on her husband, and that's why I have to get sent out of the house. And so she told her son Yishmael, stay away from these people. They sent you out of the house. You're really the only son of Abraham. Yitzchak is just the son of Avimelech. The only reason we were sent away is not because Abraham wanted to send you. Abraham's your father. He sent away because Sarah was putting a lot of pressure on him because she was jealous. And she gave that over to Yishmael. And that's what it means. Hagar implanted in her offspring for all generations this concept and this idea. You, my dear son, Yishmael, are the only true son of Abraham. Yitzchak is a son of Avimelech. And you're only being sent away over because Sarah is being cruel to you. And therefore you should know that you'll spend the rest of your life trying to get back at Sarah and get back at the Jewish people for what they represent. That's why the hatred that Yishmael has for us is so great. And they have no mercy and no pity on us at all. So he's saying a fascinating idea today, and that is that if you just look at the storyline itself, that's why there's such a eternal hatred that exists between Yishmael and the Jewish people, because Hagar was convinced that only Yishmael is the true son of Abraham, and Yitzchak is not a son of Abraham, and she implanted that hatred inside of her child, and therefore it follows us for all of the generations.
In a similar vein, Yashka in his mother's house,